Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to What the Duck. We're here with episode number 7 in the wake of the Frankfurt Major. Everyone's had a few days to recover, get used to being jet-lagged in America, and take a little relaxer before the Dota kicks up again. We're supposed to have Suns fan with us, but for the first episode of What the Duck, he dodged. So you're stuck with the four of us. Slacks was so disappointed to hear Suns fan wouldn't be here.
Yeah, it's been a while since I got to hang out with my buddy, but that's okay.
I know. You're totally burned out of hanging out with me. We were the tag team in video squad. Yeah. Just the thought of it makes you laugh. I like it.
Yeah.
I watched that venue tour over again. Oh, man, I'm glad that's cataloged forever. That was really good stuff, buddy. That was great.
Pretty interesting stuff there.
Put Slacks on an overnight flight, don't let him sleep, then record a video, and you're bound to get something good.
I guess so. But then we weren't the only ones who went to the major, right?
I know, all of us
I was there.
Yeah.
Whoa,
yeah?
Purge, you're way too loud. I'm sorry, guys.
Whoa,
that was
there we
totally messed up. Hashtag
Jesus, calm down, Purge. What the hell?
Alright, Purge, you're now muted officially. No, it's fine. Right?
Do you want me to whisper now?
No, it's fine.
Yeah, it's cool. We were all there doing something completely different, Purge. How was your panel experience?
Panel experience was good. It's very difficult to do panel well. I found the more that I do it, especially one with like red eye and things like that, and with the stakes being so much higher. Like I really felt the fire under my ass the whole time because it was clear that I was the 4th from best analyst, aka the worst analyst at the major. So I like worked really hard and I felt that the whole time. So it was good. It was definitely rewarding, and while I didn't succeed perfectly, I think I did a decent job.
You know, yesterday I saw that bit that you did where Pyrian was interviewing you, and he was asking about how the major was treating you, and you're like, well, I don't care about Reddit headlines as much as some of the other casters, but you were making Reddit headlines, man. Everybody was talking about your new duds and that deep monotone voice.
The 3D suit, guys.
The best aspect is definitely the monotone. Yeah, in my suits. I figure I can get a lot more PayPal donations now because of the suits. I'll just be like, buy me more suits, and people are like, oh hell yeah, take my money.
Yeah, there you go.
That's great.
You got it made.
You could have the little counter on the top, $4,000 for new suit. I'd do it.
8,000 suits making points or something. I don't know.
Suit making points. I like it. How was your experience, JJ? The observer, producer,
good.
stats man.
We
all-around genius.
I mean, what people don't realize, usually when you do observing an event, like, you just sit there for like 14 hours, and for the last 6, you're kind of dead, right? But for this one, it was pretty cool. We had 3 observers in total. It was pretty tight. We double observed. Didn't miss that many kills. It was pretty cool. Had some picture-in-picture shit. Yeah, it was really fun, actually.
Dude, the double observer shit was really cool. You could tell the picture-in-picture was highly coordinated with multiple people, and it was... I mean, there were a couple little goofs, but overall, I thought the execution was really good.
The problem was that production... Okay, so what happened was the following. At the day we set up, I walked into the production truck. I was like, hey guys, you guys are like a TV company, right? You know all that shit. We have 2 observer PCs. Let's crop one of those and like put them in the bottom right. They were like, yeah, we can do that. Yeah, okay. And just give us a call when you want this picture-in-picture. I was like, no, this is not happening. Let's not do it like this. So they gave me an actual button I could press on my board. So like the main observer could always just like trigger the picture-in-picture. Problem is, they like the idea of the bottom right thing so much that they then just spend tons of time to just put the crowd in there. And sometimes it would be like crowd in, but I wanted to do picture-in-picture because there's like some big shit happening at the other side of the map, and then it all went to shits because the cameras kind of didn't work. And oh man, it was awful sometimes, but it was super fun when it worked.
It was still pretty cool. Slacks, tell us about your shit posting experience at the Frankfurt Major.
What do you mean? What?
Well, I don't know. Wasn't your job the Twitch hired
right.
shit poster?
I've already forgotten. Yeah, that's right.
Glad you were dedicated to the job. I'm sure that'll make all of your sponsors happy.
There you go, the Twitch chat reporter. Yeah. It was a lot of fun. It was a good time, man.
Did you deliver the scoops?
I got some scoops. Sheever carried, but we did okay. It was a lot of fun. I only got turned down by 1 pro player this time, so I feel like I'm learning more. Like, they're getting used to my antics, which is good. So,
Who turned you down? Can you say?
It was Misery, but it was right before the final.
Stupid.
I put my camera in his face and I was like, hello, and he goes, no! Goodbye! But I got a question. Purge, what do you think about your new meme, man? You're memeing. They got one for you. You like it? You don't like it? How do you feel, buddy?
Does anybody like a hyper viral meme? Twitch
Yeah,
segment?
I
I-
like.
I don't know,
Some are
man. It
better
seems
than
good to
others.
me.
Oh damn!
Wow, so good.
I mean, out of all of them, I have to say it's not the worst. I mean, it's
Yeah,
actually
It's
a
not the
pretty
worst.
positive
No,
meme.
like I'm totally cool with people spamming in Twitch chat. That doesn't bother me. But when people go out of their way to like tweet it directly at me, like I get like 15 of those a day when I tweet, and I'm like, you guys like I understand it's a joke and all, but like it's so fucking unoriginal when you tweet it directly at somebody. If it's like a joke and you're all joking together, like it's totally cool. But when people take the time, I mean, I'm sure I could check my Twitter right now. There's gonna be another 5 new ones, but like it's just like I literally just I'm like, oh, here's like 25 seems good, and then I'll read the other messages that I got. It's
Oh,
I don't know,
God.
man.
Well, it's
Wow.
still better than like "shut up, Nahaz." I'm sure people tweet that at him too. I mean, come on.
I
Gotta
just
be
thought that
good.
was their opinion, not a meme.
Oh,
What was the original line that started the Thanks Purge? Is there a backstory here?
Oh.
I slightly changed my casting style to that. Like after doing the newbie stream, I basically realized that there's no reason not to like make your casting slightly catered towards newbies once in a while. Like once every 10 minutes, explain some like hero in a very basic way. Like, oh, Wisp when he tethers to a hero, any heals that Wisp gets, it heals the other target. And any experienced player is gonna be like, wow, that's completely stupid. Like, why would you tell me that boring information? But for like 20% of the people watching, they don't understand how that stuff works. So I feel like there's a lot of value in that. So I said something like that, and then people said, "Thanks, Purge." Like, wow, thanks for
Oh, I
that
see.
huge piece of information.
That's good.
It's especially good for a major though, right? Because like whenever you have a major ITI, there's so many people who actually have no idea about the game tuning in, and if you give them
Yeah.
like just a bit of some hints, like it's so much better for them.
Yeah.
It's always a big problem with Dota. Like it's so hard to understand and shit. So yeah.
I
Yeah.
wish there was some kind of stream that catered to the new people, but they don't do that anymore. So what are you gonna do, man? What a shame.
Hey, you never know, Slacks. They could still bring it back, buddy.
You think? Think he'll ever be
Maybe.
back? Maybe.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll fly in, you know, some new casters for the noob stream in Shanghai. You never know.
Yeah, for sure. Shanghai.
Get
Yeah.
value hanging out in China. Maybe next TI, buddy. You know.
Yeah, maybe.
Woo.
Would you
So-
do it again, Purge? The
Yeah.
newbie?
I would rather do regular casting, but yeah, I would do newbie again.
Okay, cool.
I think that just about anybody could do it, honestly. Like if you're doing newer players, like does it really matter if you're the most experienced caster? Like maybe you'd have a better voice, or maybe you'd know a little bit more about the game, but it doesn't take like pretty much anybody that cast at like TI3, TI4 could easily handle it, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, it feels like it's almost more about presentation and balancing the when to do normal casting and play-by-play, and when, like, how basic to go, and you know, more about presentation than having that in-depth knowledge. I feel like it would be hard for some casters that are so used to analyzing so heavy.
Yeah, that's probably true. It is a little bit of a weird thing, but I think it's definitely doable for most people.
Yeah. All right. So overall, good major. This event had strikingly few tech issues. There were like 3 pauses, and they were for obscure things like broken keyboards or weird keybinds or what have you. No broken computers.
Oh,
No mega downtime.
servers died
Huh?
once.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was in the VP game when they were like very close to just like losing, and then the servers died and everyone couldn't reconnect for 5 minutes. And I actually know why it was. Because Valve has like a DDoS protection, and there were so many PCs at the venue, like trying to send stuff to this one server.
Yeah.
And then Valve's DDoS protection was like, yeah, no, just.
So
no.
did they get back into the game, or they didn't
Yeah,
have a
it was
remake,
fine.
did
It was
they?
like just a
Oh,
2 minute
yeah, okay.
thing, and then VP just called GG and was like, all right. But
Oh,
it
that's
was
right. That was the
pretty
game that
tight.
was over, basically.
It was all done. it was
Oh
over.
yeah. Did you catch that one, Slacks? I know you watched a lot of games at the venue.
No, I didn't. I watch one series at every event that I go to.
Are you
I
serious?
choose one. Yeah. Oh,
I
got-
missed one series. I literally watched every game except for LGD, I think eHome or something.
Well, you know, I'm running around trying to catch players and make movies and stuff, so
Yeah.
can't
I always-
spend too much time.
I always feel bad at events when people come up to me and ask some really in-depth question about the series prior, like, man, I can't believe they third-picked Night Stalker. Do you think if they had done this and then he didn't do that in the top lane? And I break their heart and have to say, I didn't see it. I was busy filming Slacks. And then they cry tears of sadness I've never experienced.
Damn, what?
Ugh. It's harsh. No, people always want after games. They always want I have like specific questions about the game, and I never watch the games. I'm the same as you, Slacks. I'm either casting it, so I'm not talking to people, or I'm running around gathering content. I thought one guy was gonna cry at TI4. He came up to me and he couldn't believe that I hadn't seen the EG Elimination series. He was just dumbfounded. How do you handle it, Slacks? What do you do when somebody asks you a hard question about Dota?
I usually just say, "Who cares about blank?" and then insert team name here. Who the hell cares about EG? And then they're usually like, "Yeah, you're right." But
Solid.
everybody
I also
takes
like that
negativity.
every signature that Slacks writes, he draws a unique rendition of a hero of choice. That's dedication, man.
Aren't they always Omniites though?
Yeah.
I saw like a stick figure with a staff, and I was like, Omni, I guess.
I ask them what their favorite hero is and try to draw it, and then they're always like, "It's Omni and Techies." I'm like, "Get the fuck out of here! You're lying. I'm just trying to suck
What?
up."
That was your. I mean, that was your making. How can you fault people? Jesus.
Well, they're just
dude.
trying to suck up, bro.
No.
Exactly.
Nobody likes Techies anymore.
Jake,
That's
Come on.
a dirty
don't give me
lie.
that shit.
They just met their biggest hero. How can you blame them for trying to suck up, Slacks?
Yeah, you know me. There's so many opportunities if you get on my good side for sure. But I don't know. Signatures are weird, man. What do you guys do? You just do normal things, right?
I don't draw. You know what? I actually, when people come through line and they're like, and they ask me to be creative, I just can't handle it because I'm not that creative. So they're like, draw your 2 favorite heroes battling. I'm like, you know, this is gonna take fucking 5 minutes, and there's like 30 people in line, right? Like, there's not enough time in the world, and in the first place, I'm not that creative and things like that. So
Yeah. I panic as well. I usually just write Zyori or Andrew Zyori Campbell if there's a lot of space. It was fun doing that signing with MSS though. He just got pulled into that one personality signing. He had a couple interesting signatures. He wrote his full name out. I told him just to write Mojo so people would be confused, but he wasn't into it.
Oh. I mean, I don't know. Autographs aren't that stressful, especially if you're at my level. Someone's asking for my autograph, they've already got some mental problems, so you can draw whatever
so
you
you
want.
just like treat them badly and they don't give a shit.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus, who the hell
They
would
treat
want
him
my
badly, I
autograph?
guess.
Like
Oh, man.
Purge, you know. You could have like some actual interesting Dota people come up to you and be like, "Oh, sir, I've got my 7,000 MMR from your guides. Please sign this."
Did you sign any signatures, JJ?
Yes. Actually, I did. It was like my. I'm still below 10. So
That's good.
If you wanna have my signature, you know, it's still pretty fucking rare.
I know Wepis and Scriff usually hide in the observer area. At TI5,
they didn't
Wepis
even go
poked
over.
up. And when I saw, I was just like, "Oh my God, are you Wepis?" And of course, instantly people just turn because you're pointing, and they start talking to him, and he just runs away.
It was so funny. I had this one thing where I was standing, like I was just chilling with like Shira and Owen because I did the first 2 series and then I just fucked off and wanted to see the games. And then that's like two kinds of people, right? I mean, the one kind is like, hey, you know, I kind of like your work. It's always cool when there's like people still hanging around who are kind of behind the scenes and blah blah blah. And I was like, yeah, that's super cool. And then there's the other sort of guy who's like, dude, I mean, you're hanging out with like Shiva and Owen. Like, I don't know who you are, but I still gonna
Got it.
gonna watch like fucking signature as like a pity thing. I was like, all right, this works, whatever.
Pity's
Oh,
nice,
man.
dude. I'll take pity.
Game's hard, that's for sure.
One thing
fun,
one thing that's weird about when you have the signature sessions and it's just random people, like 6 personalities, and people come up and they only want specific personalities, but they feel bad just hand selecting the rejections. You know, I had a few that no, I just wanted Shiver. Sorry, only Dutch people can sign my plushie, and you have to just smile.
There's like 2 Dutch people total in the Dota scene that I can do.
It's like, all right, so you're gonna get Shiver and Bambo. That's one cool plushie, man.
I don't know. Who knows, boys? All right, we should move on.
no,
I'm
I
sure
just
people
signed.
want to actually hear about the event, right?
Yeah, what about it, Slacks? What was your take?
I don't know, bro. Don't start me off like that.
All right, fine, fair enough. OG taking it through the hardest path imaginable. Is it fair to say that OG is the best team in the world right now? Like, I feel like this wasn't one of those tournaments where a team went through the upper bracket, 2-0'd 2 top teams, and then won the tournament. This was an insane grind, starting from just qualifying through the open qualifiers, right? I mean, they've like wiggled their way from the bottom to the very top through the lower bracket.
I don't know if they're the best team in the world. They were very clearly playing the best out of any team in the world that during the tournament. I think they were easily the best team at the tournament, and I think they have extremely good top talent. So I think it's hard to say they're definitively the best team in the world, but I would say they're definitely top 4 right now.
It's hard to argue with a team winning the major and then saying they're not actually in the top X of the world.
Yeah.
It's not so much impressive that they won. It's more impressive how they did it. Going from the lower bracket in the first round, winning. I mean, just think about the run. They destroyed Fnatic, then they 2-0'd Mineski, 2-1 Virtus Pro, which was a really tough series, 2-0 against CDC, which were looking pretty damn hard to come into this tournament. Then eHome 2-1, which was like on paper one of the strongest Chinese teams like at all. Like they were one of my favorites to win if a Chinese would win. And then also 2-1 EG and 3-1 Secret. That's like insane. I don't know, man. Like I would place them like top 3 in the Western scene definitely, just because Chinese guys are so like, eh. But
It's
I
also
don't-
just
well-
a tiring event, dude. They had a lot of 3-game
Yeah, that's
series
what I
where
mean.
they pushed it to the limit. I mean, that is so draining.
It's just pretty impressive. So yeah, maybe even
Absolutely.
top 2 for me, whatever.
I was a little surprised EG didn't do better, personally. I feel like they got their win taken out from under them, was what it looked like. When I saw the EG Secret match, like some of those games were just super ridiculously high level, and I was like, okay, these teams are going to meet again in the finals. And then OG beats EG, and I was really surprised about that, but they clearly outplayed them during that series. I just feel like I felt like EG was supposed to win that tournament, and they didn't play good enough. Is what the tournament felt like to me, and because of it, we got OG to come through and then stomp Secret, which was really surprising as well.
Yeah.
Like OG consistently I always thought they would do worse, and they consistently just proved me wrong.
Yeah, it seemed like Moonmeander had a particularly big performance this tournament. He was kind of the standout player.
Oh.
Part of that is the patch.
They
We
all
talked
played
on
well.
past episodes of how this is like the patch of the offlaners. Yeah, you're right. Not to say the others didn't play well, but there were some pretty big Moonmeander godlike streaks and some big Earthshaker plays, just non-stop. It seemed like no matter what they put him on, he was just on a rampage every game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
man.
did amazing. Crit 2 played super good.
Yep.
Miracle had a couple games where he just won the whole game for his team, but generally I would say Miracle played really good, not like amazing good. Like
I
he
think-
wasn't like Sumail at TI5 played.
I
is
think
what
it was
but
this one play which kind of defined the tournament for him. When he walked into the Roshan pit against VP, I think they were like way behind, and then he walked with an Invis rune into the Roshan pit. He blew up 2 people instantly. They got the Roshan off of it, turned the game around. This is why they're kind of like, this is pretty much the play which won them the game against VP. So that was pretty much my thing with Miracle. Like when he has a good performance, he can take over the game. He can just completely roll it, and if there isn't, then you still have a really strong backline backing him up, and that's pretty cool.
I agree.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
kind of interrupted you there.
No doubt, man. And the other crazy thing is that OG had one of the worst games in the main event, even though they went out to win it. That first game against EG, that was by far the most one-sided match of the tournament. What was the final score, like 7-28 or something? I mean, they just got completely destroyed. Then they brought the series back and went to win the finals.
I mean, you get blowouts sometimes. It's just like the difference
Yeah.
of a couple ganks going well or not going well. I don't think that was that crazy. But they all played so well. Like there was no weak link on OG those
Yeah.
last 2 days.
Yeah. So EG Secret though, best series of the tournament, would you say, Purge, hands down?
I wouldn't maybe say the whole series was amazing. Like I think the third game was kind of stompy if I remember correctly. But I think game 1 and game 2 were like insanely fun.
It kind
to
of, yeah.
watch.
Game 1 was the double rapier ember, and game 2 was the single rapier ember. That game 1 was pretty nuts. I remember walking by the back and just looking at Hotvid's face, and he just said, "They're averaging more than 1 rapier per game." And kind of just made this like nice saw with his fists. That was one excited social media guy right there.
Yeah,
It
it's
was
fun.
so good. Sorry,
Did you-
that was the
wait,
only
did you
game
actually-
I watched.
Oh,
That
was
was the
it.
series Slacks watched.
Yeah, I
is he
watched that
making shit
one.
up?
He picked
No,
well.
my God, I was dying in the stands, and that's like, Zyori, you say something that struck me. The LAN, I don't know, the LAN fever, you know, the LAN energy, and how
Your
important
esports
it is.
juice.
The esports juice, and just being in the crowd when EE's got 2 rapiers, no boots, and his teammates have to force staff him across the map to do anything. I was screaming. I was having such a good time. It really reminds you about the passion and why you love this game. Seeing stupid, crazy shit like that, I loved it.
Well, yeah,
Go
especially with Drug Me, or Drug Me, I'm Hunk guy. Hug Me, I'm Drunky guy going crazy every time Secret does anything around the map. Stands up with the beer. Tries to raise the crowd. That guy was fucking nuts. I sat behind him every time I watched the game, and it got me more hype. I'm not gonna lie.
You try to
Dude,
get
it
in
was
the cap- oh, go ahead.
it was so hard casting with some of those guys because there'd be nothing happening, so you could like hear, despite having like ear canceling headphones on, you could just hear some guy be like, "Ah, ah, ah," just by himself, and you're like, God, that's distracting because it's like your human desire to like turn around and be like, where's that weird fucking noise coming from? And it was just some guy in the crowd like being like, let's try to solo pump up the crowd in an awkward way, and God, it was so distracting. It was awful.
There were definitely a few times where the crowd had like 2 chants going for the same team, but they were very different. Like the "Let's Go Secret" and then the 3 claps, and then the other half would do the "Secret, Secret," and it's this cacophony of just secret word vomit all coming out at once. They were excited, to be fair, but not always speaking the same language.
One thing though, the fact that how the stage was set up. Wait, I'm gonna put this on screen. Here we go. So this is like how the stage was set up. You had like these fan areas, which was super tight. So, I mean, it kind of looked bad when there weren't so many people down there, but as soon as it filled up, it was so cool because all the teams were looking at their own fans, and it was just amazing. Like everyone just went super ham. Even in a match where it's like OG against Secret, and both are actually super fan favorites, you still had these chants going on like between each sides. It was amazing. I think the atmosphere would really like define the tournament for me personally. It was like just great.
What did you guys think about the way they introduced the teams, where they had to come out and line up and look each other down in their opposite spots? Did you guys think it was cool and epic, or was it a little forced and cringy?
I liked it. But
I thought
didn't
it
think
was pretty
that weird.
cool.
Like
like it.
if they make everybody go down the line and shake every person's hand, then it's like I feel like that's getting into cringy territory where it's like taking too long in some ways. But like the 5-man shake hands and go fucking play Dota is like sportsmanlike enough, and it's symmetrical and looks cool and gives good camera shots. I think I liked it. It was a good shot.
I agree. I think one of the coolest parts about having this big production company that ESL brought in was those kind of transitions were really, really good. Like the way they had the cameras sliding around and stuff on the big cranes. I thought that shit looked really tight.
Agreed.
Blacks?
Yep,
Oh,
yep. I didn't think it was very cringy at all. No. But you know, it takes a lot to cringe me out. I'm like living cringe, so I don't. You know what gets me? Are popping. That's the only thing that gets me.
What?
I have not been to that.
You haven't?
Subreddit,
It's a Reddit subreddit where they just pop like pimples and pus shit, and I'm like, yeah.
Can we not
pretty
talk
disgusting.
about this in a show?
Awesome.
About Dota?
Slacks. That's
Just telling
awesome.
you, it's.
I can
All
still
right,
beat
well,
you,
gross.
you know that, right?
I love it.
I know what I'm doing for dessert tonight.
Hey!
My God. All right.
It's
Well,
nasty.
what else do we have about the major, boys? Is it time to move forward? For me, this event felt like the best, the highest ratio of quality of Dota to production value we've seen pretty much of any tournament yet. Maybe TI5, the games were pretty good. The production value was on point, but it seemed like there weren't any really bad games this tournament. Every day that I was in the hall and I saw Dota, it was fairly action-packed, you know? Production was pretty top-notch. Is that a fair statement?
I agree. Do you feel like that's some bias towards teams you like, though? Because me personally, some of the Chinese teams sometimes have boring playstyles, like they're too one-dimensional. So I find when like 2 Chinese teams are playing against each other, I'm just like, don't care. Like seriously, the one series I didn't watch was LGD, CDC or something like that. And consistently every single year, the only match that I skip is usually like where there's like 5 or 6 teams left, and there's a double Chinese match, and those are the ones that I skip.
I mean,
I wonder if that
that's
is
true.
why the games were more enjoyable to watch, even though I think the meta is better now than before. But
Yeah, I mean that's
Damn,
a good
dude.
point. I wonder if, you know, the Chinese fans feel similarly just inverted, you know, when there's 2 Western teams matched up. Pardon me. I'm not really sure. I mean, I don't. It's hard for me to cheer for specific teams because I usually know at least 1 or 2 players on each team that I'm friendly with. So you're right, though. Sometimes if it's a Chinese on Chinese matchups and it's 2 teams that I'm not super familiar with, or, you know, I haven't cast in a while, that's when I'll take a food break. Yeah.
Also to follow up on this, so when you watch a tournament and there's games going on all the time, and then you cut back to the panel, and then you don't really have a big of a break because you always have something else to watch. For example, like the things Purge did. I think this adds so much, and also all these crowd shots. It was just amazing. So especially because Purge had so much content, and the content was always like pretty funny-ish. I mean, I remember the signing session thing where he would just like walk over Slack and Slacks would make the funniest face ever. It was just so good. I mean, you don't give a shit if the games aren't this great, or like it just feels so much better as a tournament in the whole, like as a whole production when there's just stuff to watch all the time, and it was pretty good. I kind of wanted to have like a timer on some games because sometimes they would just like show up the game screen, the next game screen, and there was no timer. There was no, can I get a coffee? Can I actually like, you know, just run to the store real quick or something? It was still pretty damn tight. Like it was good.
Yeah.
It was almost too tight for the analyst desk though, because if I don't know if anyone complained publicly about it, but there was like 3 desks in a row, and the stairs was by the Chinese section, so Chinese and Russians could get in and out if their segments were done, but we were on the right side, and for some reason they blocked that one off, probably because otherwise fans could walk up there and like bother us while we were working or something. But the only way for us to get out is if the Russians were done, and the Russians would always take much longer in post game than we did.
Yeah, they
So,
bullshit.
most
They're
of the
the
time,
Russians, dude.
We're just fucking trapped there. So because the games were so tight, it gave me all this fucking stress because I was like, I need to go to the bathroom and then get back here and prepare for the next segment, you know? That shit was intense.
Yeah,
I got
that's
lot of stress from it.
a weird way to set it up. That's unfortunate. I noticed that every day I came into the venue, there seemed to be a different regulation about how they were going to search me and what kind of gear I was allowed to bring in. Every day it was something different. One day I just walked in fine. Next day they searched my camera bag. Next day they searched my pockets, but not the camera bag. Day after that they said only press can bring in cameras. I said, well, I'm staff. And their response was, yeah, staff isn't press. Usually it's a step higher. And the guy said, okay, I'll trust you on this. I'm like, all right, dude, you got me. And then next day, they just let me come in, no problem. Yeah, sure, you don't have to wait in line. You've got a staff badge, dude. Go wherever you want. It was very strange to me that it just seemed different no matter what I was doing or what I was wearing.
I wouldn't let you into an event, Zyori. You look like a
Well, I
goddamn
saw that
person.
tweet about you getting searched in the airport because you were wearing your fucking I'm gonna get the scoop in the security line
That's so
outfit.
Serial killer coat. I would like to clear the air though, since we were talking about like me being on those things. I got some tweets that were like, Slacks, are you mad that ESL made you do stuff and they didn't hire you? And I'm like, no, man, it was a lot of fun. I thought it was one thing I'd like to say about the event is the ESL staff. All those guys really treated everybody really great from what I've been seeing. They tried their hardest to like fix people's problems, and like even though like me and Zyori weren't technically even supposed to be there, and they used us, they liked us.
Hey,
we
fuck
had
you,
fun.
man. I casted the group stage. I was hand-selected by ESL to participate in the event, Slack.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
My God.
Are you gonna take that, Slacks? Are you
No,
gonna take that?
Yeah,
Now, you, on the other hand, you were like the little train that could and barely made it up the hill because somebody handed you a pass that said Ice Frog on it. I don't know why they did that, but they just decided that you looked like an icy frog and it would be a funny of a joke.
Well, I didn't mean to offend you, Zyori. You absolutely deserve to be there. But I
Oh,
did
thanks,
not.
buddy.
But yeah, I mean, it was just a nice staff. There was a lot of rumbling about shit the entire time, but overall, I thought they treated everybody pretty good, which is nice to be able to treat your players and your talent very well. Even though
'cause
I
you're at the
wasn't
good
even
hotel.
talent, bro. I was
You
at the
son
good
of a
hotel.
bitch.
Oh, here comes
Yeah.
the bitching again.
Oh, damn.
All right, I'm just gonna
You-
outline this because
you
nobody really
esports
made it
boys.
super public. So we had different hotels at the start, which made a lot of sense because the event was probably planned a little bit last minute, and they couldn't put everybody in the same hotel. And naturally, they keep all the players in the same hotel because that makes sense because the teams should be close to each other for organizing and food. Like they should get tier 1 of the hospitality basically. So it was basically like some of the joined Dota people. We had Malk, we had a couple of BTS people. We had most of the BTS people. We had like LD, Coddle Guy, Merlini, and then it was like myself, Knoxville, Red Eye. We're at this different
house as
hotel. It's
well,
called
I
the.
think.
I was
and
there.
It was called the Novotel.
A noob hotel.
What basically happened was we
Novo
realized
shit.
that our hotel was like a 15-minute drive away from everybody else's hotel, and that's where Midnight Snack was. That was where full catering was. I mean, we still had a restaurant that we could eat at, but it was still kind of a pain in the ass to actually eat there. So we were like 15 minutes away from everybody else. We didn't play Mafia on our free days really. We like didn't see each other very much. We'd basically get home from the event and I'd just like go to sleep because like there wasn't Midnight Snack, there wasn't food if the restaurant was closed. So basically there became this divide where we had like, I don't know, 10 people at the new hotel, and then we had like 85,000 share shits, as we called it, at the Sheraton. and it just we just got so salty the first like 6 days because like the food quality was just not the same, and the hotel was not quite as good, and yeah. But eventually they moved us like towards the end of the event as some of the teams got eliminated. We got to go to the Sheraton, and then I truly saw what I was missing the whole time, and what I was missing was
My God.
fucking midnight snack, man. You guys
It was
were
pretty tight.
so spoiled.
It was pretty fucking tight. I was there since like the first day when people arrived. I was like one of the first talent to be there, and the first thing I see is like a giant lunch. So I was like, yeah, that's pretty good, you know. I actually have no idea like what hotels are tiered at. I didn't know how good a Sheraton was. I didn't know how good like a Novotel was.
I
don't
didn't have
know.
a single midnight
But-
snack this tournament.
Yeah, you fucking
That's a
lost, dude.
travesty.
That's really easy. But you know, all the food in this hotel was so nice. Seems good, boys. It was pretty funny. Yeah.
Such babies. Be happy, dude. You're being flown across the world.
Dude,
I don't care.
I enjoyed it, but you don't know what it's like. Like everyone can be like, "Wow, you're so fucking spoiled and stuff." But when like 90% of your peers have the dream, and like my hotel was honestly pretty darn good. Like I thought the hotel quality itself was fine. Like maybe the employees weren't all super chipper. Some of them were a little cold. Like whatever, I can deal with that. But the fact that we were far away from all of our friends, like honestly, like 50% of what makes these events fun is that we all get to hang out with each other, right? We make our own fun. We like hang out after matches, or we see people that we haven't seen in person in like 4 months or 6 months or something, or even a year since TI or something. So like preventing that, making it easy for us to hang out, that was like a huge negative for enjoying the event. And we didn't completely know if the shuttles were free. Turns out that they were, but they didn't communicate that very well to us. And they didn't always have somebody on hand to talk to. So those differences just make things a lot harder, and it makes things slightly less fun. And
Black
it turned out
sad.
okay. No, I'm not trying to make things sad. I'm just telling you why I feel justified
No,
still
you're right.
saying
Played
that it
the
sucked to be
Purge.
separated.
Flex,
We
it's-
did, but we lost. We had like 2 days we could have played, and we didn't play.
It's the same thing that you and I talked about, where all like when you work in esports, you spend so much time alone in your room or your office making stuff for the internet and yelling at your computer. Events are valuable because you get to refill that energy that you slowly lose from just grinding on the internet by yourself, right? You get to meet your fans, get to see all your friends that you only see so often, and you know, online we're competitors a little bit. We're in different studios, and at these big events, everybody gets to come together and put all that shit aside, focus on one big awesome event. You know, making it as big and bad as it can be. Hugs and smiles all around. A little bit of magic and a pinch of luck, and you have a good event, Slacks.
Wow. Yeah, that's really nice. It's good to be able to hear that side of it, Purge. You just want to have fun and be loved. It's not about shitty pillows and stuff like that.
No, it's about midnight snack and hanging out with my friends. That's pretty much it.
And in the end, we
Everything
all
else
just
is
want to
fine.
be loved. Oh, how nice, Slacks. So here we are, guys. It is roster unlock time. The shuffle's
Woo!
coming. And I was pleasantly surprised to see that big fat thread at the top of the subreddit. Actually, not so fat. It doesn't seem like there's going to be too many crazy roster changes, at least not so far, unless there's a lot of secret talking still going on. When is the rosters? When do they? December 8th. So we've still got another week and a half or so. But so far, it's been pretty minor changes. The big one, Digital Chaos, dropping Buryu for a still yet to be known 5th. I
And
don't
they
know
were
if I
scrimming with 1437, or they were playing official matches, excuse me,
Yep.
with 1437 last night. But
And
they
they'll-
did lose their best of 3.
Oh!
Because they'll be coming, they'll be headed to the summit, so they're going to need somebody to fill in those Buryu shoes.
You think that would be a good fit, boys? 1437? Isn't he on Cloud 9? Am I stupid?
He is, yes.
Oh my
But
god!
in reality, that team may disband, and it's not like they're going to steal him or something. Like I think DC seems like a reputable organization. And I'm not just saying that because I like Suns fan. So I feel like they'll actually talk to each other and they'll work out a deal or something like that. Either they pay Cloud9 to buy out his contract, or Cloud9 fully fucking disbands and they're like, just take him, I guess, whatever. Who knows what'll happen.
I heard that.
Hey, Purge, I got a question for you. What do you think about this kind of, I don't know the word for it, if it's an attitude or just turn of events where when teams get eliminated from tournaments, they want to leave right away. And it seems to be a trend that's happening more than it used to, especially at these big events where, if Valve is involved, they're very flexible to accommodate players' needs. Do you see any issue with that, or is it strange to you, like that Cloud9 lose, they instantly peace out? We talked to MSS, and he was the only one left, just like, man, I'm going to play pubs by myself. See you later.
Yeah.
It seems a little strange to me. I mean, I get being travel burnout, and for some like the American-based teams want to go home and be around your family for holidays. But do you think it's weird that do you see it as a potential sign of bad sportsmanship to just get eliminated and say, all right, change my flight, I want to leave immediately?
Bad sportsmanship, maybe, but the reality is that when you lose a tournament and this much money, it's for a lot of these players, it's still too important to not get that cash. Like, yeah, they've got maybe sponsorships and stuff, and they're making maybe like tops 30K a year from signing with the team. Like, they need to win tournaments, and it just kills your team's morale when you lose as well. And then they're like, oh, do I really want to hang out an extra 5 days and watch people play Dota and like interact with fans who are all gonna say like, oh, sorry you lost? Like, all that shit just sounds really awkward, like not enjoyable to do. So I don't think it's that weird. Plus, it got me out of the Novo shit, so that was pretty cool. Got to stay in somebody's room.
Thanks, Cloud9.
But no, it could have been any team. I don't know which one it was. But I feel like it's not that weird. Like, most Dota players are very antisocial. Like, we don't like interactions with other people that much. Like, maybe hang out with our friends, but a lot of those guys would rather just go home and do what they want to do rather than watch Dota all day and interact with fans. Like, maybe they don't have a lot of really close friends at the event, for example. Like, we do, because we work with the same people every event. But if
Right,
you're used
that's
to
true.
like, if you rotate teams every 6 months, like, your friend group probably adjusts a little bit. So I think it's less straightforward that they would enjoy it. So I don't think it's that weird. I don't think it's unsportsmanlike either.
Okay.
I don't know. I was talking with Piran about this the other day, and although it sucks to lose and all that stuff, I understand wanting to get out of there and all that jazz. But I mean, I kind of feel like give them a day off and then kind of make them hang out so that we can get some more content stuff. They can get some more fans. We could some fun stuff.
That's
just
not
kind
the
of
golf approach.
yeah, I know. It's
It's not the player approach either. They don't give a shit about that stuff.
I know,
Yeah.
but they should. I mean, it would make for a better community and it would make more fans in Dota. One
Yeah.
of the things that I'm overly obsessed about, I guess, is trying to get people that don't enjoy pro Dota to start enjoying it. And the only way that I can really see that is to try to inject some more fun into it. So, although
Use
I
your
kinda-
fun cannon, Slacks.
well, I'm just saying, like, what the hell was that? Although I understand, like, people get, I don't know, just like as a content creator, as somebody who has to interview teams and stuff like that, it's getting to the point where it's almost impossible. You have 15 minutes after they win a game, I would say, is your only time. And, like, if they lose, oh, you can't interview them, you can't talk to them, they lost. If they're about to play, oh, you can't talk to them, they want to play, they want to practice, and I don't know. I mean, it's just, I'm trying to, it's good to try to find ways to make people more approachable, more valuable members of the community, and it's,
I mean, I
the
think
current system we have is almost impossible to do that.
PPD is a perfect example of a player that kind of gets that there is this happy medium of fairly low effort to big reward if he just shows up some of the time. Look at ESL 1 New York. They got eliminated on the first day. He was there on the panel for the grand finals to participate a little bit. He's at DreamHack. He's going to be one of the official casters to cast this DreamHack because we're in Europe for this event. I guess he stuck around a little bit longer, and it's relatively low effort for a guy like that. He wants to watch the games anyway because he wants to study his future opponents, and the fans really appreciate it. Hopefully there will be a time when that appreciation actually has a tangible show, so more players are motivated to do it. I want to see more tournaments do what DIC did last year, where after every big win, the winning team goes down to the press area. You have, just like real sports, 10 minutes with the press where people can ask questions and you can film it and take little notes. It's the best of all worlds. Teams have to do some press stuff, but it's in a very limited control scenario. Press have consistent ability to feel useful and get content and write articles based on stuff players are saying and have access to them. And I don't know, I think it just has a nice feel of it. I don't know, it feels like we're taking this more seriously, but yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Purge?
The problem is that most players have experience with like hyper amateur journalists. That's the unfortunate situation. It's like, do they really want to go interview with some random guy that they've never met or seen before that's representing a giant organization that they don't care about, like Ghost Gamers, for example? Like, if Ghost Gamers says, "Oh, I'm with Ghost Gamers, would you like to do an interview?" They don't give a shit. Like, they
Anything
just They just don't give a shit.
Makes it more of a no.
So the players just say it, and then like if Slacks approach and they don't know who Slacks is, and he's wearing a
Right.
fucking coat like a getup, they're just like, who the fuck is this guy, and like, why does he want to bother talking to me?
Right.
Like, they want to focus on their match. They don't want to have a fan interaction. They maybe don't even want to say something about the tournament because maybe they'll say something about picks, or maybe they'll say something arrogant, or there's like so many ways that shit comes back to bite you in a lot of ways. So they just don't want to interact in that way, I feel.
I mean, a lot of
Yeah.
things also come down to like they did a press conference for OG when they won, right? And one of the like
Did they?
journalists, yeah, they did.
Oh,
Asked
I'm
him
sad I
if-
missed
if
it.
he actually could take a picture with him. I was like, all right, like you just fucking lost that life, dude. You
That's
just
pretty
lost.
bad.
That's
See,
so
but
dumb.
that's it's so underpublicized though. You know, I would have loved to at least attend and see what the press conference was like, maybe take some pictures, whatever. Where was it? When was it? How did we not know about it? We
Yeah.
were there for press coverage.
Yeah, it was kind of short notice, I believe. I actually don't know. Like, Skim told me about it, so yeah.
It's kind of
basically-
shitty though. I mean, I understand why, you know, at TI or at the major there isn't a lot of emphasis put on press because frankly not a lot of press turn up. So there's no reason to go crazy with the accommodations. At TI they had the press day, but they rescheduled it to a time when most of the press hadn't arrived yet, so there weren't many people there. And I know the players just felt like it was kind of a waste of time, but I like that every team was required to be there for an hour. To me, it kind of felt like a small commitment that potentially would allow for some content to get out there. I mean, I shot an interesting interview with Ohio and S4. Not the most valuable content, but to me, it's just all about that trade-off of it's a pretty small commitment to just do a couple interviews or be required to be around. Maybe you're not. I mean, they weren't required to say yes to websites they didn't want to do interviews for, but still just required to turn up in a jersey and be available. I think that's a fair requirement for a tournament of that scale.
And we got to play Mafia in that room for like a week. It was great.
Hey.
Pretty tight.
Yeah, fuck interviews, dude. Let's just get the players to play Mafia. That's all anybody wants to see, right?
I mean, honestly, I actually think it is. I'm not trying to be a weirdo or anything. I think people want to see players having fun. They want to see them be more like, you know, human beings that they can relate to and stuff like that.
Yeah, they
But-
want to see players get interviewed at the mall. I heard that unknown interview was pretty good, Slacks. Well done on
Well,
that.
yeah, let me just address that. I am coming from a completely biased standpoint. I absolutely 100% biased. Like, as somebody who wants to make content with players and stuff, of course I want them to be forced to make content. But, I don't know. I mean, it's just like, can I talk about something else that might be kind of a touchy subject?
Do whatever you want, man.
All right. Well, one thing, I thought the games were some of the best games we've ever seen at like a pro event. It was so good. So, what a dream Cinderella story. But I don't know. I feel like I would like a little bit more fun and less professionalism, less hyper.
What, you mean throwing Melk under the bus and every other sentence wasn't
I was just saying, like,
too unprofessional
the
for you,
panel
Slacks?
went so ham on the bullshit that Malcolm was bringing all the time. That was so funny. Like, that was not professional whatsoever. Like,
I
everyone,
don't know.
even the suits weren't professional. There was okay. So I remember this one cast.
What suits?
OD
Purge was the only one
Pixel.
wearing
Okay, hold
suits.
on. OD Pixel.
Purge's suit
Without a
was quite
jacket, but with a
unprofessional.
okay, hold on. With a tie,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
without a jacket. Next to him was Syndron, without a tie, but with a jacket.
And
I don't
then
know,
Melk-
guys. Why didn't
You're
Melk have a
fine,
jacket at all?
Crazy!
Like,
Oh my
no,
God!
Just no. You can't say professionalism.
That's not
when there
how
clearly
you
isn't
dress.
anything.
Whoa!
Yo, I don't know. It just no. I'm sorry. I get annoyed by this shit.
Okay, so which part of it was too serious for you, Slacks? Let's break
I
this
don't know,
down.
like
Let's-
the purge thing. I mean, not the purge. The Malik under the bus thing. Yeah, that was funny. Like the first day, like every fucking day, as the only comedy that anyone had on the panel was shitting on Malik. But I don't know,
Felt
like
good, man.
it was good. Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, I
I
agree
just
with
feel-
that.
I
I
feel
think
like,
that bit was
um,
overdone.
I feel like Dota's moving towards this design in professional games where they're moving away from let's have fun to let's have a bunch of guys say in different ways something very professional and oh yes I believe he'll do this and then like 5 dudes say okay fun. Like sorry to call him out, but I personally really like Nahaz because he brings a lot of energy, but it's so much energy compared to everybody else. Like weird. And it should be all I want from esports is I want James Tootie Harding, whatever his name is, and I want some other genius. You know, I want 2 people that a really smart guy, a really funny guy to go and entertain us for Dota, because I feel like we're going too much towards the Reddit crowd of we must have professionalism, no jokes.
I don't think Reddit actually cares about professionalism.
You want like a Too Good Pyrian Shane panel, you
No,
know?
I
like
don't.
that?
I don't.
He said
That's
one
too
should
much.
have been smart.
I forgot who my other example was, but
Just kidding,
my
guys.
perfect panel would be Purge and James. That would be my perfect panel. That would have everything I would want.
That's two
It would
people.
have
Yep.
kiss and
Sick
funny.
panel.
Give me
I don't
one.
know.
Come on.
Andrew's mediocre.
And then some idiots in between. But I don't know. I think it's getting too serious. I thought it was a really good tournament, but it's doing this power creep towards seriousness, and I don't know.
No,
I think-
it's not about that.
All right.
It's really hard to make a good panel. I think that's literally it. And if you take, like, we'll say, let's categorize like Merlini and me, for example.
Yeah.
Like, we'll say like mostly serious knowledge, occasional jokes, but rare, I feel. And then Synderen is kind of similar in a lot of ways, except he's more witty than Ben or I are. So he fits well, but then as soon as you start going for people that are just for substance, then your analysis comes down. So really what you just need is a perfect human being. And they just don't exist, you know? Like, that's why it's so hard to make our panels good, in my opinion, is because you have to get a balance. You have to find somebody that's extremely analytical, while also really good at making jokes, while also being super witty, and also, it's like, that's why there aren't more casters in some ways that are good at all that stuff. It's just so rare. It's hard to get that
you don't
perfect
need
balance.
one person. That's the whole point of the panel. Everybody brings something. You
No,
know?
but I think what Purge is saying is that's part of the beauty of why Too Good is so good, right? Because he's actually good at Dota for the most part, right? He's been around esports forever, and he's also a really good host. One of the issues that we bump into when you have Red Eye or Chobra as a host is even though they're objectively some of the best hosts in the industry, they don't know the game as well as somebody like Coddle Guy or myself or like James, for example. You know, so you had this dynamic of the Bruno Too Good where, again, Bruno's actually pretty good at the game. He's really funny, very creative, and the two of them have a dynamic that goes back and forth. That's an example of people that make a really good panel, and I think Purge is absolutely right, man. Those people are, those are rare human beings. I mean, I think most of us have seen Bruno's resume. That thing is fucking redonkulous. He speaks like 6 languages, master's degrees, and this and that. I mean, you know,
but
it's
do you
not
need somebody
happenstance.
that's really good at Dota, or do you need somebody that just appeals to the audience that's not good at Dota? You know, whenever Pyrian's on the panel, I like it. Even though I'm good at Dota, it adds a different kind of flair. And I don't know. Overall, it was good. And Purge, I hope I'm absolutely not offending you. I've told a million people that I thought you were the VIP of the tournament. You really brought it. And I go off.
Quit sucking my dick on stream.
I'm just saying. No, I suck a dick off stream, dude.
If
I'm
we'd
just
played
saying.
Mafia, this would have been the easiest Mafia call, the easiest lynch ever.
God, whatever. All I'm saying is that we have to try to appeal to the people that kind of tune into esports and aren't very passionate about it.
Yeah, but
Because we have to get more of an audience.
Yeah, but
And
then
the
again,
only way
like,
to do that is to appeal to the common man, be funny, have some like fun shit that you do, you know?
yeah,
Not
but it has to be a
hyper
specific kind
serious.
of funny, Jake. Like, you can't just meme or some shit because people don't
I'm
understand
not
that shit.
saying, I'm not saying put me on the panel. I don't know what the fuck I'd be doing, but
I
I'm
didn't
just
say
saying.
that, dude. Like, we could
No, I'm just saying.
have
Like,
went really radical on this.
have some fun, you know? Have some fun with it. And picking on Malik is not having fun with it. That's picking on Malik for 5 days. Like, I'm
Did you
sorry.
say Malik?
Whatever, Malk, whatever his name is.
It's
Milk.
so fun, though.
I know.
Yeah. No, I think you're right, Sykes. I think people often forget that literally half of the Dota player base is barely good enough to understand the deep analysis that happens on the panel. And when you have a really good classic casting duo, it's perfect to have, you know, Toby, Synderen go crazy in the finals for most of the watching audience. But there's still this huge untapped audience that isn't hardcore enough to give a shit about those really next level insights about wards and those little battles. They just want to, you know, have some fun and play some games. Like one of my friends that she's like a casual gamer, I showed her that cosplay video I made. She's like, man, I wish I could understand the game to have an appreciation for this. You know, the learning curve is so harsh for so many people. I completely agree, man. I think we're starting to lose sight of what you need to keep the growth going, right? Dota's been on that upward spiral of growth for so long. I think we're starting to plateau, man. We need some fresh blood. We need some funnies. We need a Slacks without the slacks.
Yeah.
Whoa, dude. Holy shit.
We
you
need someone
could've said that
actually
nicer.
funny. True that. But no, I mean, I think our analysis is there. We have some of the best analysis guys that I've ever seen in I mean, everybody on the panel, everybody in Dota.
Dota
That's
needs a
big right
Richard
now.
Lewis.
Yeah, everyone's so smart. Everyone's
Yeah, but for
super
different
smart
reasons,
and gives
to be
like
honest.
really good ideas. But we need something more, man. We got to appeal to people that don't particularly like how it is right now. But that's just me.
Alright, can we cut, guys? I think it's very clear that we just have different opinions on that. And can't find to a common sense.
So, in conclusion, good story, Slacks.
Whatever.
Get wrecked.
Next.
So, what do you guys think about this new complexity lineup? The old homeboys back together: Handsken, Limp, Chessie, Swindle, and Z-Freak. It's the team of brothers. This was, I think, one of the latter iterations of Stay Green, one of the Han teams that made fuck all over the other Han teams after all of the good Han teams left. How do you think they'll fare in Dota? I'm always curious about the dynamic of these 50-50 teams with 2 NA, 3 EU.
Messes up sleep schedules, limits communication in some ways.
I think all of these players are finished like high school, and I don't think they go to university though, so that should make it a little bit easier.
Yeah, it's fine.
What's the roster again?
Chessie, Limp, Handsken, Swindle, and Z-Freak.
I mean, it's a lot of good players. I mean, you could maybe criticize Z-Freak, Swindle since they're still pretty new to Dota, but I think Limp just had AK MMR. Chessie is known to be one of the better EU players. Handsken, I don't know that much about relatively, but I mean,
He was the
Z-Freak and-
drafter for NIP, so
Okay, which position did he play? Was he a
5.
support?
Yeah, he
Okay.
was support.
What is Z-Freak playing then?
4.
Support.
He'll play the greedy support.
Okay, and Swindle's playing offlane. I believe I saw him play Darkseer one game
I
yesterday.
think so. I'm not sure if it's totally like confirmed,
I'm pretty
announced,
sure.
but that would make the most sense.
Would also make sense to put Limp back in offline. That was pretty, like, it's some
Yeah.
offline stuff, but still.
I mean, those 3 players are all pretty dynamic. They've all played mid.
Yeah.
They've played some offlane. I think that's one of the cool things about Limp and Chessie. They've been able to do that 1 and 2 kind of Illidan G thing where they swap around a little bit depending on how the game feels.
It's pretty interesting to see how this lineup's gonna fare. They only, quote-unquote, lack my nuts, and brought in Handsken in.
Sorry.
No,
It still gets me every time.
it's pretty interesting. I gotta say, I was more kind of hyped for the last complexity lineup, just because this one is like, it looks so star-studded and it has so high expectations, so it's really easy to actually not meet these expectations. So yeah, it might be an overrated team, but I mean, they played quite well yesterday against the DC 2.0, or like 1 point something, I guess. So yeah, they definitely have the skill. The question is, how well can you actually make pings be like non-existent? How well can you make this game switch up? Like Purge said, considering there's gonna be so many more majors this year, which also means that complexity. I mean, complexity is a not rich organization, but they are kind of wealthy, so they're gonna fly all the people out to their house, right? So ping is not gonna be an issue for the qualifiers. That's gonna be completely fine. Question is for all these other tournaments. So I can definitely see them succeeding, and I think it kind of favors them in a bit for this.
And of course, it reignites the, are they a European team? Are they a North American team? Can't wait to hear those conversations again. 3 European players, to me that's his EU team, but Complexity is a North American organization.
And they definitely
sounds
gonna train
pedantic,
in
but
NA
it really
if they're gonna
matters.
do it. Because they're gonna be playing... Wait, are they actually playing Canada Cup? I think they
Yes, I think they are in
do.
Canada Cup. So they'll be an NA team for that event at least.
Yeah, they do. They do. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're kind of developing the NA scene once again, so it kind of makes sense to put them in this NA bracket, I guess.
And hopefully Chessie's injury holds up. He was out on injury when he was playing for Alliance with a back issue.
I think he
So-
still has this. It just not as worse as it was.
Hopefully it's under
I believe.
control, but that's unfortunate. Hopefully he's feeling good. And that's about it for the big changes. Mineski announced no big roster change. Vega, Secret, Fnatic, none of them will be changing. Looks like Funnick will be playing for Empire, and LGD's doing some stuff. There's probably going to be a bit of a Chinese shuffle. So
That's a shame, man.
Oh, hold on,
I mean-
guys. Just to come back, apparently, I mean, we might be getting trolled by Twitch chat, but I think they're right. So apparently, Complexity are all just moving to the Florida house.
okay, so they'll be NA.
Shannon said
so,
similar
yeah.
thing in Skype.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that it's right because I heard this at the event as well.
So what are the chances Ritsu finds a new team, huh?
I
I think he
man.
should join DC as their 5th. What do you think?
I think it would definitely be
Yeah,
interesting.
they definitely need another one. Oh wait, they don't. What the fuck, Slacks?
Hey, I'm just saying that would certainly like mend the burned bridges. Got Ritsu on DC.
Yep, I'm sure that would do it.
I'm
Wouldn't
surprised-
make any issues.
Why isn't Secret and EG swapping up? They fucking suck. When's the last time one of them won a tournament? My God. ESL New York.
Alright,
Fucking
and this
Rangers?
is a mute, guys. Let's move on.
Try to win a freaking tournament for once, you two. God, everybody wants you to win. You never do it.
All right. Well, let's talk about the opposite of winning for a moment here. Slacks, your dreams, your hopes. Dota 2 reporter comes to an end.
What? Oh, that?
Yeah,
that was my bad. Sorry. Another
That
thing
was,
I fucked up.
That was you
So
being
we
responsible.
all heard the epic rendition of how you single-handedly ruined eHug through a series of poor decisions and suggestions.
Yeah.
Tell us about how you single-handedly ruined another one of your competitors here on YouTube.
Yeah, that's kind of what I do. I touch things and they die.
You're like the opposite of the green thumb. You're like that
That's
Oompa
right.
Loompa with the lollipop.
Yeah, no. I mean, he's moving on because he told me. I don't know if it was in confidence, so I won't say too much. But he just feels like went
You know
as
he
far
did a
as it
vlog,
needed to
right?
go. What?
You know, he posted a vlog about it, right? You didn't watch that.
Yeah.
You didn't even take
No,
the
I
time
watched
to
it.
listen to it.
I watched it.
I did
can't
watch
play
it.
though.
Well, I talked to him before he decided to cancel the series, and he just said he felt like it ran its course, and he didn't have the passion for it anymore, and he just wanted to let it go. And I think that's what that's what everyone should do when they don't want to. Well, when they run out of
Everyone should
passion.
just discontinue whatever they were passionate
No,
about.
if you run out of passion for it, if you want to come back to it, or maybe he didn't even say he was done doing it. He just said it was not sustainable to do, and it's insane the amount of work that he did on that. So
needed a break.
yeah,
He said
I
that
don't know.
publicly as well. He basically said, like, I have to spend a shitload every time I make a video, and the ad revenue is not that amazing, and it wouldn't be working unless for Patreon. So, and
Yeah.
I know what the numbers are like. So, with YouTube Red coming out recently, they pay you based on time watched rather than per video. So, for video shit posters known as Dota Cinema, for example, they made a lot of videos that were very short, and they made a lot of them. That because every time you run a video, you get an ad, right? But if somebody makes like a 50-minute like brain word puke like I do, then I get paid the same amount for my 50-minute video as Dota Cinema would on their 3-minute video, for example. But now with YouTube Red coming out, since my average view is so high, now I'm making more money than Dota Cinema is per video by far because I have more minutes watched per video. So
Got 'em.
if you make something that takes like hours and hours and hours to make, like the Dota 2 reporter, he's going to be getting paid less per minute right now. So
Yeah.
it just makes a lot of sense. It
On-
sucks because he made good content, but
On the last Zyori podcast they did, I had Bommy on, and he does similar to what you do, Purge. He just records himself playing a game, does commentary over it, and then just uploads it. And it's great for him. That's the kind of content that's really good on YouTube right now because it has really high viewer minutes. It's basically like people watching a live stream, except they watch it on YouTube. So if you actually watch if every day he has people that come and watch a 60-minute video all the way through, you're really living the dream, considering how little effort it takes him to make that compared to something like an animation.
yep,
I'm
that's
just
exactly
gonna,
right.
Great, I'm gonna upload like 7-hour streams on YouTube. Let's fucking
No,
do
you
it.
should, man.
Good.
Not even
Screw
kidding.
it. See ya.
Takes you
like-
an hour to record
good.
it, basically.
Seems good. No, but what a shame though that that whole thing. I mean,
Yeah.
I just wish YouTube paid people more. I'm sorry. I mean, it sucks. I think a lot of animators are kind of straying away from YouTube now. So, what are you gonna
Yeah.
do? You can't get the same investment they put in.
Yeah, it was really cool content. Something about the video that watching it, I felt like I could really empathize with the guy. He just had that look and expression of just like, listen, guys, I am burned out as fuck. I'm taking a break. You know, you could tell it was just so genuine that he is just at that wit's end of, I got to make some changes. My office and my bed are 2 feet away from each other. I never leave the house. I know those feels a little bit, man.
Yeah.
Get cabin
I could've-
fever. Got to get out there. Get some sunshine, dog. Vitamin D.
I could have had something to do with it though. I don't know. Did Legion Commander and Techies on that show, and I would just send him like a 10-minute, all in a bunch of different ways, me screaming. So that's got to wear a guy down for sure. The Techies voice is quite annoying for more than 2 seconds.
Oh,
so.
not only the Techies voice.
Hey, fuck you, dude.
Great work,
But,
Slacks. Great work. So, Slacks,
we'll see.
this posed an interesting question for me to henceforward to you, because you're our creative guy, right? You're our lead in the creative department here at Moonduck, and this got me thinking: is creativity a finite resource? Like, will there come a day when you just turn up and say, "Guys, I'm out of ideas. The creativity fairy hasn't spoken to me in a week, and I don't know what to do"? Because when that happens, we are fucked.
I don't think so. I think that there's always something that you can get attached to. I mean, some people are just insane, and they get passionate about one thing, and then after they're done with that, they get passionate on another. Well, I think the biggest thing you have to look out for creative people, though, is a lot of the time they'll start a project, get three things into it, and then give up. So, I don't know.
Don't give up on your dreams, boys and girls.
Well, that's the thing. You gotta give up on things you don't think are gonna work out, like your dreams. I used to do a Dota news show. That shit does not work out. This works out, though. It was good stuff. Don't ask me about how to do anything intelligent and creative. Those are two of my...
Lex, please tell us about your creative process and the secrets to using Windows Movie Maker.
Nobody cares. All right. We should move on. What else we got, boys?
Nothing, dude. It's story time. That's it.
No, hold on. I
What do we have?
Production value stuff coming up.
Please.
Hold on. Okay, so because people were like, well, blah, 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 look at this, Complexity Gaming House. I just wanted to show the stream how fucking amazing this house looks. Guys, can we get a house like this? Who do we have to sell out for this?
Let's see. Who's
I
sponsoring
posted this
Complexity?
in
Maybe
Skype.
we can ask those guys.
It looks great, dude. Like, I'm not gonna lie. They have, like,
Whoa!
the water right there. It all looks cool. It looks great. They have
Where
a
is this
pool.
in? Is this in Arizona?
Miami,
is
I
this Phoenix?
think.
Oh,
No,
Miami.
it's
Well, that's why, because Miami is
Yes?
crime-ridden and scary.
Crime-ridden
So.
and scary. Alright, that's fine.
Miami
We have
is
slacks. No one's gonna
crime-ridden.
rub us when we have slacks.
Bodyguard slacks.
Dude, houses don't matter for players.
Action
Again,
Guard.
the bigger, the better you make these player houses, the more you pamper these fools, and the weaker you make them. If I had a gaming house, it would be a fucking shack. They could poop in the corner, and anytime they got a rampage, they were allowed to use toilet paper, okay? You gotta abuse these bastards to make them do what you want. You think EG has a good time?
God.
Charlie fucking literally whips them. I've seen it myself.
Flex, they should take you to South Korea to be just a motivational speaker for their League of Legends teams. I think you would really fit in there.
I should join Riot. That's how they do over there. Hey, let's not end the show yet. We haven't even talked about Shanghai Major. Isn't that a big deal to you people?
What do you have to say about it, Slacks? What do you want to
Slacks,
talk
what
about?
is your information? Because we don't have any.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Okay, Mars TV is in charge of it, right? We know
No.
them.
No? It's Perfect World?
It's perfect
Alright,
world.
that's one. That's 0 out of 1. Continue.
Okay.
So, good,
Well, I'm
though,
saying
good
it's
try.
going to be interesting. For one,
Uh-huh.
point one, Chinese people don't give a shit about Dota, so everyone says.
That's true.
That's true. That's going to be interesting. They have a major in the capital of we stopped giving a shit.
Wait, they do give a shit about Dota. Are you kidding me? DAC was packed to the brim.
Was it? The teams don't, though. People are universally telling me that Chinese teams stopped giving a shit. Is that not true?
Maybe
well-
because they have like streaming contracts which are like insanely high. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
but the fans are still hype as
the
shit,
fans
dude.
are there.
China's
But anyway,
huge.
the Chinese teams have to step it up because they have a major in their hometown. Point number two, we got to cross the Great Firewall. What English people are going to go to the major? Who do you think? How are they going to handle that? Who's
I
going
mean,
to
I've got a
realize-
visa, dude. I'm
Excuse
in.
me.
I'm ready.
Do you realize that a lot of smart people are thinking about these questions right now?
Clearly, yes. People are thinking about it. But what do you think about it? Pimp,
Okay.
you're big in production. What's
Okay,
your
hold
deal?
on. It's actually not this insane. There is a lot of ways where you can circumvent the firewall with VPNs, and especially because setting up a VPN locally, like I have a VPN ready, like right here on my house, because I want a VPN wherever I am through my hard drive, because there's like important files in there. So
What's
I
a
could use the
VPN?
same VPN.
What? What is that?
Are you shitting me?
I'm
Is
not
he
good
trolling
at
me?
computers.
I
What's a
think
You're
actually
8
he might
levels
not
too deep
know.
right now, Pim.
Okay, so VPN is, let's say, okay,
can't
Slacks,
tell.
let's say you are in your house and you have audio devices there, right? You're in your local area network, also called LAN, right?
Yeah.
We're good so far, fine? Now you just walk a fuck ton of miles and you're at a completely different house and you still want to like kind of access your files which are in your local area network. So what you do is you do a VPN, a virtual private network, which you had set up beforehand,
Whoa!
and it looks like you're actually in your own house, even though you aren't. It's magic, I tell you. And
I could play Fallout across the country?
Exactly, you could do everything you want, everything ever. Just, you know, you have a bit more latency because it goes like 2 ways. But you could do a lot. You could also watch Netflix when you're in Europe. That's pretty good.
Cool.
I've been using my
Watch
VPN to
YouTube
watch
videos.
Swedish Netflix.
Yeah, you can watch
Really
YouTube
awesome.
videos because Germany sucks.
And you can use Twitter in China. That's
you could
fun.
also stream.
Okay.
You
So
know.
But don't worry, Slacks. We have
VPNs in
VPNs.
China. That's how we're gonna get people over there.
Yeah, actually it is, pretty much.
That's how we're gonna upload your content, Slacks, assuming you get a visa.
It's just gonna be interesting, man. A non-English speaking kind of major, and then we're gonna be like the Chinese casters on this one. It's
What is
gonna
your
be fun.
point? I don't get it. What is the issue with it being in China?
I'm just saying, it seems interesting to me.
My biggest issue with having it in China is that there is a high chance that the production company is going to be primarily like speaking Chinese or anything which is in English.
I think it's almost a guaranteed
that's an issue.
chance that they will speak only Chinese.
Yeah, and that is a big problem. Like,
Yeah,
a
but
gigantic
did the German cameramen speak Chinese either? At the other major? Like, I think it's pretty clear. This guy's talking. Put the fucking camera on him. Oh, this guy's
No,
talking.
but there is differences
Well, you would think
still.
that. How many transitions did the audio guy miss? I mean,
Yeah, it's things like this.
Damn.
So many cues, so many things which is like are fast resolved when you have some natives to interface. There was a thing where like the production guys kind of requested to have me on one series as the ops because they weren't sure that some issues were kind of arising and they just wanted to like minimize any chances of language barrier. And because I speak native German, it's kind of made sense because the audio guys also native German speakers. So it just like you can make it just a bit better, or even have like a bit of a like a high probability to have this, you know, to have a fuck up not happening, and that's already so much. I mean, this major was great from a tech point, right? There were very little fuck ups, and one of the reasons is because people really tried hard to minimize this stuff.
it will definitely be a difficulty. There will be times when you won't have a translator right next to you, and you'll need to communicate something to someone. It happened when I was in China at DAC more than once. You just learn how to smile and point and say "shay shay" after everything.
Cool.
Good.
Shay
What's
shay.
it mean?
Thank you.
Alright.
Smile and nod.
Shay.
Shay shay.
Yep. So, all right, story time, gang. After that epic abode about the Shanghai Major, theory crafting all the ins and outs. Thank you, Slacks.
Did anyone prepare a story? Because I forgot about this.
Fuck.
Oh, I have so many.
Slacks. All right.
Slacks, carry us like you're carrying Moonduck.
Fuck you, dude.
Slacks.
I'm not telling any story this time.
Put it on your
Go.
back. Slacks,
Go Pimp.
we'll forget about the Shanghai thing.
Oh,
if you
I got
tell
a
us the
story.
story.
Oh,
Okay.
go Purge! I want to hear a Purge story.
This is a Frankfurt Major after party story.
Lost.
Thanks,
Shit.
Hodor.
Oh, shit.
Lost.
Hodor?
So I was well. First of all, Hodor was the DJ, the guy, the actor that plays Hodor. That was pretty cool. I liked his music. I thought it was good.
Surprisingly good.
Yes. I went to the bathroom for like the 4th time because I had a lot of beers, and there's only like 4 urinals, right? So I picked the urinal on the far right, and somebody walks in, he picks the urinal on the far left, and he's like, "Hey, Purge, can I take a picture?" And he's like peeing at the urinal, but he's turned his head and he's looking directly at me. He's like, "Can I have a signature?" And I'm like weirded out, and it's fucking S4. He's like, "Purge, I want an autograph." Can I take a picture? And I was pretty intoxicated at that point, so I was basically like, oh, this is fucking weird. And he was like, and I didn't like react to it in a joking way because I was just like uncomfortable. You know, I was like, oh, I'll just wait until you're done, man, until you're not holding your dick or something. And he's like, oh, I'm bad at, I was just kidding, I'm just bad at telling jokes. But then I felt bad because I like ruined his telling a joke. And then he said that he enjoyed my casting. So not only did he want to touch me with the hand that just touches penis, but he also enjoyed my casting. So that's my story. Oh, and then Neil came up and like said a bunch of awkward things, and then S4 ditched. Basically, is what happened.
Oh.
He was like,
Oh my god.
the TI3 dream, the $1 million dream coil, and S4 is like, you know, I do other things too, right? Like everybody always says that, and I was just like, man, this must be so fucking annoying for S4 right now to have Neil like talk to him about some accomplishment he made 2 years ago. Holy shit. Neil fucked up.
S4's been trolling everybody. Peary was telling me he was in a group party. He joined in, and then when they got in the game, S4's like, "Oh, Pyrian's here. All right, I'll leave." And then he just left, and that was it. He was gone. S4's like the ultimate fucking troll. I love that kid.
Dude, I was so happy to see him there. I thought most of Alliance left, but he stuck around, and I chatted with him at the bar at the after party. He becomes much more sociable once he's had a little bit of liquid courage. It's quite good. He's a fun after party type.
I mean, Zeiss as well.
Yeah. See, those are the good ones, man. The ones that stay around, even after the team leaves. MSS, S4, Zai. His whole fucking career left, but he still sticks around. That's good for him.
Shit.
I really liked Zai's reaction to that angry comments thing, by the way, when he recently just like, I don't think I look like a girl. Like, whoa, damn, okay, somebody.
He was very distinct. Yeah, it was.
All right, Pimps, what's your story, buddy? What do you got?
Actually, it's not on the level. Like, I just can't tell it anymore. It's just not as good. It's pretty just fun.
Yeah, dude, I've got nothing
we
that's
lost.
even holds a candle to S4 looking at me while I'm peeing. That's like,
That's so good.
No,
Get
I was
their
like
autograph,
already,
bro?
I was like already done peeing, but he was still peeing. I'm pretty sure. And I think he initiated while it was like zipping up or something. There was some overlap.
That's so fucking good, man.
all
Good
right,
time.
Slacks. I know you've got a story, man. You had a big event. You wined and dined. You met some of the hot starlets in Frankfurt.
The Starlets. Nah, I don't know. I don't really want to tell any more stories. You guys keep putting them on YouTube. You're stealing my story. Those are mine. But Jesus, I didn't really think anything. I was hoping that somebody else would carry today.
You know, the highlight of my event was when a fan came up to me and said, Zyori, how did you end up leaving BTS to become Slacks' camera bitch? That was
Pretty good.
all too real. I didn't have a zingy comeback for that one.
Oh, shit.
I just kind of put my tail between my legs and shuffled away, sad, and sat in the corner while I reevaluated my life's decisions.
I'm sorry, buddy.
Plausible. Plausible.
Plausible. I don't know. Do we even need a story after Purge's fucking best story in the world? I think we're done. I think we're
There's
good.
so many stories. It's just
All
some of
right.
them are so private. You just don't
That's
want to
true.
tell.
That's the problem after this event. It's like, well, all these
You never
fun
know.
things
Like
happened.
some people involved, like you don't exactly know how cool they are with that. So you
Come
might
on,
as well
Pimp.
not.
It's time to find out, dude.
No, actually,
All you
not.
have to, you
I
just
can
have
only
to do
tell
that
one.
once.
It's not even a story. It's more like fucking amazing thing, as in. Like I told my mom I was doing an event in Frankfurt, and she was like, "You know what, son? I'm gonna come and see how it is." And she was so blown away. And then I did the Valve VR with her, and she stood there in the first demo where you're like underwater and there's like a big whale coming. And she's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, this is so big. Oh God!" And she was so in it. And then like later on, like she was just blown away. All right, whatever. And she called me and she was like, "You know this VR thing? Is there a chance to have this in Germany, like, once again, like, in a week or so? Like, I would totally do it again." I was like, not quite, you know. But if you want to go to Seattle and take me with you, I'm down. I want to see the city once. Not a great story. It was just so cute.
That
Oh,
was a
That's-
Matt story.
That's a
was a
that's a
cool one.
heartwarmer though. That's
Mom say
that's
that
nice.
a lot, Pimp.
Huh?
God, it's so big. Love you, buddy. Look at that.
All right.
face.
Great stuff, Slacks. Way to round
All
it
right.
out. Guys, Dota
Hey!
Cup is right around the corner. The open portion of the tournament is coming up this weekend, November 28th and 29th. So if you want to play in Dota Cup, head over to Face It. And you and your team of ragtag Dota players can enter and have a chance at the big money. We're starting the production coming up in December. Once the big matches start, we're going to have Pimpmuckl at the helm. Mott's going to be taking point on the casting. You'll see a lot of Purge over there as well. Should be good fun. Join us over at twitch.tv/moonducktv. Our subscriber button on the way as well, so you can look forward to that.
Whoa.
A lot of people have been asking about it. Sorry about the delays, but finally some progress has been made on that front. Slacks is busy. He's got to go play Fallout 4. The rest of us have to get packed up for Thanksgiving. And Pimpmuckl, well, he doesn't give a shit about eating turkey on the last Thursday of November because he's from Germany. That's it for us today, guys. We'll see you next time on What the Duck. Bye-bye.